Ah, switching to decaf. This is COFOH Live Undead. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by the amazing Aubrey, Christine, Trujillo, and Jerry G. Angelo. Wow!
You write something on my face?
Whoa! Hello, guys!
Hey, wait, they're coming! Ah! Get back! Okay, we got a little bit of time. And our backdrop is still there. All right. Jesus. Hey, all right.
I know. Spatial awareness when doing action.
That wasn't improv. We didn't have that plan, but it looks like the moon is behind us. No, that looks better.
Ooh, nice.
Look like the moon.
Nice. Now that you pointed it out, now I can see it. Thank you.
Yeah. So we are actually in space with NASA and Rokitpig, and it just actually looks pretty cool. It's cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I hear that's how NASA's getting to space through Rokitpig.
That's
So true. And Elon Musk too. Yeah, we've all partnered up.
everyone's partnering.
Excellent. Then first the moon, next to Mars, right?
Saturn, we just kind of want to shoot, just
Oof.
keep going.
Is that even sustainable for life? Good luck.
Is there a moon? No, nothing there that I can just chill on.
Yeah. And Saturn, I thought Mars was further than Saturn, or no?
No.
I think Mars is the next closest, and then it used to have an atmosphere and water, and maybe there's evidence of life, right? So from thousands and thousands, if not millions of years ago. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But way to shoot for the moon, or Saturn in this case. Goodness.
Mars. Everybody's shooting for Mars.
I just remember being in grade school, elementary school, and there was like 8 or 9 planets, and they were debating if Pluto was a planet or not. That has significantly changed over the last 30 years.
Yeah, we've discovered a little bit more than that at this point.
Yeah.
In our universe.
Yeah. And even more planets beyond our solar system. So we're hopefully we'll get back to that explorer spirit. And speaking of explorer spirit, let's talk about you guys. Oh man, Jerry, you've been on the show before.
Yes.
You've talked a little bit about your background, but Aubrey, this is your first time. Definitely want to hear from you. You've got if I'm not mistaken, you have a background as a singer, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And we want to hear where you came from and how did you get into filmmaking and acting?
Well, I'm actually from Brush, Colorado, which is a small little tiny cow town in northeast Colorado.
2 inches.
It's smaller.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very small.
You and I were
if you go
practically neighbors.
What's that?
You and I were practically neighbors.
Where did you grow up?
Kersey, 9 miles east of Greeley.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I used to go to the UNC Jazz Fest in Greeley all the time because I was a musician. So I played tenor saxophone and grew up playing music and had a strong voice. And I actually ended up going to Lamont School of Music in Denver for their their Bachelor of Music program and vocal performance. So I sing opera. And that took me out here to California. I finished up my undergraduate here, stayed on and did a master's program at UCLA, which was amazing. And, highly recommend their program there. Amazing musicians, composers, brilliant singers, of course. So people to just collaborate with. And I always loved stage performance and acting. And acting is really my passion of passions, you know, just getting to embody characters, learn more about humanity, and
I think it's changed a little bit
Yeah,
since the last time you gave a
has.
speech.
Well, I'm not giving a speech.
I think she likes creating.
I love creating in general. I think I love storytelling,
Yeah.
and I love storytelling in all facets. And so because I didn't just see myself as a singer, I also saw myself as an actor, a performer, a storyteller, a creator. I started exploring film and television because I'm in Los Angeles, so why wouldn't I?
Right.
And fast forward to getting cast as the lead female in Obscura.
Ooh,
This project. This was my first feature film. And he and I met, is it 6 years ago now? Through Instagram, because we both shoot archery. Which I grew up doing in Brush, Colorado.
Yep.
So anyway, we met through an archery like hashtag or something like that. And this guy was killing it, promoting American Warfighter, his first film that he wrote and directed and
So
produced. Cool. And he was very cool. He was very cool.
I had a beard, long hair.
Yeah, lots changed.
Yeah, I remember that film. That was a really good film. Yeah, good job, Jerry.
Yeah, thank you.
That's cool. And so, you know, shortly after that, as you mentioned, this was the film that Aubrey was cast in the lead for.
And I have been in a lot of theater and a lot of different side of production without knowing it most of my life. Because if you do theater, you know that you do every job so that the whole show can just go up, right? And so when we were on set for Obscura, I couldn't help myself. When I wasn't on screen, I wanted to help this guy make this movie. I kind of just fell in love with him, and I wanted to help him make everything. And so,
that's so cool.
He's very cool. I can't help it. What girl could help herself?
Bigger than Brush.
So we started producing together on set there, and just have not left each other's side. We've produced so many things together since, screenplays, short PSA commercials. Now we're three feature films. Yeah. And we have more and more concepts we've been coming up with together, and our record label, just, you know, everything we can do together, because this guy is a creative mind, a very creative mind. And so getting to collaborate and make films and tell stories with him is all the fun I could ask for in life.
Oh, that's fantastic. It sounds like, you know, you're a fantastic, couple, but also, you know, integral creative force together, you know. Yeah. How, can I ask, what is the creative process when you guys are working together?
We are very, do you want to answer that? I've been talking a lot.
Yeah. Gosh, well, there's some different aspects where it's coming, say, just from like, say, self-tape auditions and stuff, you know, we're working together as that. So usually if she gets the role that we're doing a self-tape for, then I kind of take the role as a director. She comes to the table with pretty much what she wants, and then we'll give like little directions, and that usually goes pretty good.
Yeah, usually. Yeah. I have to. Yeah. I think that's kind of the fun part about our relationship is we both have strong opinions, and we both have great respect for each other. So there's a way to be able to share that, and still at the end of the day know that we love each other. It's no one's dying. No. There's no life or death in this. It's just like, I have a great idea. You don't think it's great? Why?
It's not right or wrong. You know, it's just everyone's creative, and it's kind of getting an idea that which one is going to suit the project or the best. So when it comes to writing, so far we've written a bestseller for Amazon. We have finished that screenplay. That one is called Interview with a Terrorist. So we are actively shopping that one right now. It's that would be definitely one of our largest projects to date.
Nice.
But like the writing process is well, that one was a little different too, because that's based off a book that already exists,
Right.
an
Stories
adaptation. So
yeah.
that was yeah, gosh, there's so many, every everything is so unique. And you were watching the master class of the brothers that did Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, I've been
Oh,
watching
the
that
Pepper Brothers.
master class. It's one of my favorite things to do when I'm like just cardio or just trying to get through something. And the Duffer Brothers masterclass, like I would highly recommend for any creative. And their process is actually very much like ours. Just a lot of, they call it blue skying. He calls it skunk works. We just, we put a lot of ideas out there. Sometimes it goes down a path that you're like, well, that's not it. But a lot of times like, an idea from that weird path would be like, oh, but what if we pull from that and put that into here? And I think that's how Dead River really came about for us, was a lot of skunk works, a lot of ideas that didn't work for one storyline of character or characters, was perfect for another set of characters. And that was a really fun script to develop with Jerry, just because he loves Westerns. I love Westerns. I'm more of a modern Western kind of. Right. I don't know. I didn't, before we were writing this, know a lot of the old Westerns. And so I familiarized myself with them now, but I was like Firefly and modern day, like space Westerns, Star Wars. But so I've definitely familiarized myself with a lot more of the like real classics and things. But
I think what's helpful is to people that watch, or filmmakers and stuff, is that we're always learning to better ourselves, and as we get more experience, but then also by learning how other successful filmmakers or people that you respect have been successful, is learning some of their processes. And so some of them you relate to, and some of them you don't. And by not relating to someone, you get stronger on yourself in different ways. And by relating to someone, you incorporate, it strengthens your pathway, or your train of thought, saying, oh, this is how they do it. Also, this works really good. Just like you said, with the big sky and skunk works and stuff like that. Yeah. And so, I think under perfect circumstances, we can run things differently. As an independent filmmakers, you're always striving to manage time, finances, and resources. And that can be very difficult, because you can work with a lot of people that that are wonderful. You can also work with a lot of people that aren't so wonderful, or ultimately you're always juggling all these different pieces.
Right. Yeah. Doing what you guys do, you have to wear tons of hats, and working with sometimes difficult people and limited resources. I'd imagine you also have to play, counselor, best friend, psychologist in some cases, to get those performances and everything in front of the camera. But, with that, kind of going back to the project Dead River, can you share what that film is about? And you mentioned before we went online that it's in post-production right now.
Well, we have all the, this Dead River is an enormous project. It's have you heard of the movie Love Actually?
Actually, I have.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, it's not a horror movie. Well, it is if you're scared of love. All
very scary for commitment.
It's kind of like the same structure as that. There's multiple storylines, and then all the storylines eventually start to intersect and collide and all that, and merge. And so that's basically what Dead River is. We wanted incredibly strong women characters as well. So the whole, I think the heart of the story is based around all the women kind of taking charge of one of the storylines that kind of oversee. I don't know. That's how we're gonna probably be a little different, but I always see that as the stronghold for the film that has all the heart. and grit and revenge and chaos and all this stuff. And then these other side stories which are equally important, but they're unique in different ways. And so you get like all the colors of a rainbow. Let me first say
Yeah.
you get all the different colors of, you get love, and you get chaos and war and revenge, just all like everything I said already.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Here's a little snapshot. It looks like you're sitting there on set, directing. This is Dead River, right?
Oh, that was actually my band. Actually, I was going out for Elvis in the middle of the desert of 70-mile-per-hour winds.
Oh my god!
And that's the actress Sanaya Laustis, and she's an incredible actress. She has done probably, I don't know, like a dozen films, like in the in the last 2 years. She's just from one project to the next, but she's awesome. And I was telling her what to do. I was like, so I'm directing her. She already knew what to do. She already brought her A game. But yeah, that was at Eve's Ranch.
That was at Eve's Ranch in Santa Fe, outside Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Where we met some other incredible filmmakers, the Mortensons. Yeah. Wyatt Mortensen and Clint Mortensen, and they have an entire Mortensen ranch, and they're interesting people. They're amazing. But we got to work with all their horses and with them, and
they're wranglers, and the two of them are our wranglers, and then we worked with their horses as well. And Wyatt is the character in the film.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
There's so much to talk about.
Yeah,
it's hard to pick one thing.
What we learned about writing a Western and now producing it, and he's directing it, is they're epic. You don't make a tiny little Western film, for sure. They're epic on all scales. You don't. If you shoot something modern day, you can just, I don't have a phone. Cool, just use mine. That doesn't work in a period piece. You're like, we don't have a lamp.
Your boots are squared off, or they're rounded, or they have rubber soles. No, or your horses have the reins that are not period. They need, and they're like, every aspect is something, and depending on what year you're doing, that's why you'll find a lot of Westerns that are done, even with the large studios, they pick a certain time period. Obviously they pick a certain time period, but that determines what type of weapons you can use, because some weapons, what happens often,
saddles especially,
historians and people that pay lots of attention to those smaller details, is that hey, that gun didn't exist for another 6 years, and your storyline takes place in this year, so there's
it's pretty wild. People, it's great that there's a diehard audience for Westerns, but it's pretty strict. I mean, it can turn someone off immediately if they turn on a Western and they see saddles from 1930s, then we're supposed to be in the 1880s, so we're like, really, that's that big of a deal? But for some Western diehards, it really is.
and if and we're very ambitious, and we do. It is important for us to be historically correct and accurate to the greatest degree that we can. And so having different historians on board and stuff, you learn, like, you bring in hay. We have all this hay getting brought onto set, and like, hey, all this hay bale, it's great. Well, the hay bales didn't exist in 1880s, so
they didn't bale hay.
Yeah,
isn't that interesting?
So you just have to
break it up.
That's delightfully infuriating, right? It's just like, I love the creative process. This is great. But yeah, with that, you mentioned you brought in historians and we're doing a lot of research and stuff. Is that something that you tried to really, do pretty heavily before going into production, or was it just kind of as you were writing the script, or how does that work?
Well, it's not natural for me. It's not my thing.
Sure.
So I write, as far as writing the Western, they get on a horse and they do this and they say these words and all that.
Yeah.
After all is said and done, then you go back and then you start to have different people help out as far as, like, say, dialogue. What was the one with all the ain'ts and
right? Language is important. They didn't have conjunctions. Don't, won't, shouldn't. So we had to, and just certain modern idioms and things that, just didn't exist back then, or some that did. And you're like, oh, what does that even mean? You have to look up the meaning of it. And you have to pick and choose too, because if you don't know what it means, does your audience know what it means? Is it important to use it just because it's period correct, or to not use it because it's not period correct? So
you learn, we learned so much. I mean, it's like, hey man, yeah, at noon it's going down. Like you don't say it's going down.
That's not what we all say here in Denver.
Yeah. Like we learned things like two of the main characters, or one of the main characters is non-hearing and not speaking.
Yeah.
And so before this experience, not trying to ever be rude or offensive to any different people.
Community,
I would say, in the script he's a deaf and he's mute and stuff. Well, that's not appropriate anymore. So we learn as we talk to the starting to research, we start talking with people that do sign language, and that's how they communicate. Hard of hearing. Also, we're dealing with the Native Americans in different forms, and their communication from one tribe to another tribe is also sign language, but it's not the same sign language of American Sign Language.
Right. There was just a lot of historical stuff we had to look into. American Sign Language didn't exist as a language in common folk in the 1800s. I don't want to bore you guys or anything, but so we were like, okay, so not American Sign Language, but Northern American Native Americans had a trade language that was a gestural language, and so a lot of people would use this gestural language in trade. So one of our characters is also using that language as well to communicate with another character. So it was a really fascinating process. Now, in sticking to the history, we also decided to not tell stories that have already been told. So we don't have Billy the Kid. We don't have historical figures that people are that want to. Those stories have really been told. What we focused on were general groups of people whose stories weren't told because they weren't the people that wrote history. So we do have a story about frontier women and strong women and women who chain horses. We have Native stories that aren't about being a war party or defending their territory. We have just everyday people in town who have kind of a normal existence, and what is that like, and that kind of thing. So in being period correct, we didn't go overboard on being historical in specific historical references. So that gave us the freedom to have a really bigger world and a more creative process for each character, more development. They didn't have to develop in a certain arc because that's how people behaved in the Old West. So
and with these characters become iconic because they are so grounded and down to earth and just real. And seeing how these people this time make it from day to day and what they do, from Pinkertons to the gang members, the outlaws, to the everyday people. And when the buttons get pushed, survival, and it's where you willing to go, and a story that starts to unravel, and it's incredible. It's so good.
That sounds fantastic. It's such a big tapestry. It sounds like that you guys are kind of weaving together, and the focus on everyday people growing up during that time and on those terrains and dealing with those hardships is always a fantastic human character piece to convey. And of course, staying away from Billy the Kid and things of that mythologized tombstone or whatever. I think that's that's pretty insightful, because then you get like character pieces like I would argue that something like True Grit is a fantastic character study. So my hat's off to you. I can't wait to see the film, and Ellie, is there any word on when a trailer would be coming out? Is it a few months from now or something?
I don't, you know what? I just don't know right now. We're not sure. Right now, we have full throttle on Obscura and getting that finished up. That was, that's a whole other conversation, but that is where our post-production resources are at the moment. Although we are placing some nice things together with Dead River, and I'll just say that right now.
Excellent. Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about that. Our friends Angela just chimed in. Hello, Aubrey.
Angela's incredible.
Yeah. She's always a great supporter of everything you guys do, and
she's one of our members of Rokitpig and producer on all the projects we're talking about. She's a producer on.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think this might be her. I'm not sure. It's not coming up on my end.
So the picture you showed of me directing, like I look so cool and everything. Well, that cool girl right next to me, this is her.
That's Sanaya.
Oh, cool! Oh, fantastic!
I don't know why her little picture's not popping up, but yeah, she is an awesome actress. And I don't know. There other filmmakers are watching. You guys should check Sanaya out, and she is very dynamic.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Let's switch gears for a second here. We're talking about character pieces in westerns, but I think there's talking about the awareness that you guys are bringing to domestic abuse, domestic violence. Can you talk a little bit about that and some of the initiatives that you're working on?
Sure. I'll say that I'll start off with this part. So it takes so much time and effort and resources and energy in a good sense to bring anything together. So part of what Rokitpig is we have something called Stardust. And that is out of every time that we're putting something together, we like to put some of this energy and people together to do something positive. So this is the president right here of Stardust. I'll take over from there.
So I thank you. Stardust is really, really near and dear to both of our hearts. It's something that Jerry's been doing throughout his career as a producer and an actor and director. And it's something that we really want to focus on moving forward with all of our projects. So in creating Dead River and creating one of the first promotional things that we shot, there were a lot of women getting either choked or just kind of manhandled a bit, and we thought, wow, this was so prevalent and is still so prevalent now. It hasn't changed enough, in my opinion, to in over 100 years that we're still in many communities having these experiences. And so we created this PSA not specifically targeted for victims, but for awareness and for advocacy. A lot of people want to either turn their head the other way or don't know what to do when they experience or see other people, hear other people experiencing domestic violence, and they don't know who to contact or how to help. And many times victims don't have any ability or empowerment to reach out for themselves. And so it was very important to us to create an initiative that would spread not just awareness that this is still a problem in our global community, but also that there's something that you can do. There's always something you can do. You are not powerless as an advocate, and you are certainly not powerless as a victim. And so Jerry wrote this piece, and I had the opportunity to direct it and be in it. For me, it's very near and dear to my heart as a domestic violence survivor. And I think that that it can hopefully reach out if one person sees it and has the ability to change the path of their life or someone else's life who is powerless or feels powerless, then we will feel very grateful to have been part of that.
But definitely want to reach, since we're in a position, is to reach as many people
Absolutely.
as possible. For sure.
Definitely. That's why it exists. Yeah.
But every project, like say for something that's different with Dead River, we are working with horses and also the Native Americans as well in different tribes, and bringing awareness for them or helping out their communities, or as well. So every project has a different, unique community that's attached to what we're doing.
Nice. Would you like me to go ahead and play the PSA here?
All right. Yes, please. Thank you.
1 in 3 women has experienced domestic violence. Domestic violence is present in every community, regardless of age, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, gender, race, religion, or nationality. Victims are isolated, leaving women feeling powerless and alone, oftentimes blaming themselves for causing the violence. You are not alone. We stand with you, and we say it's time for domestic violence to stop. Prevent violence by becoming an ally for victims. Be the one to say, enough. Together, we will find the strength to stop the endemic of violence against women.
Wow, that's fantastic. It's a strong message that really needs to get out there, but it also needs to be repeated over and over, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I thank you guys for putting that together and bringing to light that messaging. For everybody that's watching out there, at the top of the comment section there are phone numbers and websites to go to for services and agencies that'll help you through these times. And if actually I should probably turn this to you, Aubrey. If you are aware of somebody that's experiencing this, how can one be an ally?
There's this amazing foundation, and they were part of our initiative as well, called White Ribbon USA. They are a global initiative as well. They're a nonprofit. You can go to whiteribbonusa.org, and there's a pledge button on there. It tells you, some of the markers and things that you might find in a situation. Different hotlines and things, and ways to approach a different situation. Oftentimes victims are very, very frightened that you will initiate contact that can cause more violence for them. So it is a delicate situation. So yeah, and then the World Health Organization. I believe you have some of the links in the chat as well, comments as well, and they will take you through some different things that you can do as well, just to know the next appropriate step, whether that's just having a nice conversation and giving somebody a chance to talk about it, whether that is offering a hand in helping in the situation. It's all very personal, and it's all very fragile. So it's important but the most important thing is to know that it's still an issue, and that it's still something that we need to address as a global community in general. And I don't want to get into any politics or anything right now, but just treasuring the women in your community to a degree that allows them the same power and empowerment that you would like to experience with whatever gender you identify with or don't identify with.
each scenario is, like she said, is fragile, can be so different. And it's just getting some of the information to the victims, giving them support in the sense that here's some phone numbers, and encouraging them to, they ultimately have to make the first steps, because often they are scared, they don't know what to do and all that. They might be dependent on with their home or with children, or just whatever their living situations are. It happens to all children, men, women, so there's all different sorts of domestic violence. So it's, I'm not an expert on it, but I do know it exists. And as I meet people and learn about their lives or whatever, I can be a little bit more helpful.
Yeah. With what little I'm aware of, if with things like this existing in our community, not only does it, I think, hurt the individual, but it affects the community by and large too. It takes away such energy that could be put, to more positive things. So Aubrey and Jerry, I really appreciate you, for bringing this to light and putting this out there. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to hit us back. And is it okay if I direct them your way?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. And then, to continue with, we mentioned a little bit about Obscura. We're anticipating, when is this movie going to come out? We do have a trailer, which we'll show in a little bit, but how are you guys? Any announcements? Anything that you can garner some? We can garner some insight on.
Sure. So my first big project was American Warfighter.
Yeah.
So Obscura would be the next big one out. I mean, I've done some other things and all that, but Obscura is my next. That was my next baby, and I put an all-star team together of some wonderful other great filmmakers and actors and stuff like that, and we created this one during COVID when it first started. I was realizing that COVID was going to be something more than just a couple months. At the beginning, people were saying a couple months and whatever, and I'm like, this is going to go much longer. So, and it, as we all know, it's still going on. So we're in the final stages of post production. So it's a little tricky because we have an incredible editor and a fellow producer, and they found some other just
gold.
Yeah, they found other gold in what we already created in as far as story. So we are we're looking into a couple additions and stuff to the movie. And but it will be done. It'll be ready this year. I'm pretty certain it'll be ready as a great Christmas film, right?
Just everyone wants an alien.
Like Die Hard. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's got a lot. What's great when you get to put these epic type of stories together, and you have a lot of your friends. It's fun to see them getting to play and just be like badasses or making you laugh or making you cry. And so Aubrey did an amazing job. I remember when we first kind of the first time we met for coffee, was kind of going over a lot of her pictures. This was probably 2.5 years before we got together for Obscura, and was going over her headshots and kind of seeing what kind of character, marketing, branding for her. And I was like, yeah, I see you as an alpha female, a Sigourney Weaver, Angelina Jolie kind of type of thing. Because along she's a beautiful girl. She's also very athletic, and she has black belts. She's a marksman with weapons. I don't know. She kicks my butt often.
Archery,
but often.
Archery, that's our thing.
Yeah.
She's a little bit taller, and she's very fit and athletic, like something out of like Ninja Warrior or something like that. This is her. There's so that's part of her brand. She could get into a physical fight, as a first responder or an operative with a a male counterpart, and she can do some damage and kick their butt. It's not like if you put someone really small in there, it might not be the same. It has a different.
Just put them on an apple box and it's all.
Yeah, then they're all the same. So anyway, that's how I see it.
Nice.
What I said about
Which part? The very first question you asked?
Oh, this was terrible.
We're sitting at Starbucks off of
Coffee
it
Bean.
was a Coffee Bean at
Across
the time.
from the DGA.
Now it's a Starbucks.
Yeah.
But we're sitting at the Coffee Bean. First time I'm meeting him, when I get my coffee, I sit down. We're talking for a little bit. He's trying to get, my essence, my type, because he's really going to help me market myself. Because, I'm kind of in that weird, awkward stage to camera part of my career. And he goes, so, yeah, okay, that's all great. How much do you weigh? Mm-hmm. I was like, and you could hear the whole coffee shop was like,
and Sunset, the traffic on Sunset stopped. I didn't mean it in a bad way. I was just like,
I was like, why? So he really impressed me. Yeah, he was. But it honestly, this is the kind of person that Jerry is. As we're sitting there, he's telling me all of the stuff, and he says, "And if I ever have a role like that in one of my films, I'm gonna hit you up." And I was like, "Me? Really?" I was like, "You probably know 1,000 great actresses at this point in your career." And he's like, "No, I think you're the right person for this role." So. The pandemic and the shutdown in March of 2020 happened. I had 5 opera contracts. I was set up to do concerts and operas throughout the year. I was very excited, and they just started falling like dominoes because everything shut down.
Right.
And then I see this Instagram post of like needed or what did you say, casting, women between like 30s to 40s, Sigourney Weaver type, badass, like all these kinds of things. And I was like, I'm gonna send you my stuff, and like my thumbs couldn't move fast enough on my phone. And I get a message back within a day, maybe even faster. And I'm just playing with you. He's always very professional. But he gets
my finger.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
I learned to stay away from that one.
I'm devastating myself here. But I get a message back. He's like, "Yeah, I wrote it with you in mind. The role's yours." And I couldn't. I was in the gym every day after that. I was back on the gun range. I was like, I'm gonna own this role. I can't wait for this. And we had so much fun. I
changed our lives.
It really did. Well, it changed our lives for sure, in the very best of ways. And I can't tell you, Obscura is, for me, it was so much fun. Everybody on the project was just like really excited. The energy was there. You guys are going to see the trailer, but we all love Alien and Aliens, specifically for me. Predator, and these films that just kind of are iconic, and so it just felt like being in them and living in those roles, and it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Aubrey, you get to kind of continue in that tradition of Ripley, or the Sarah Connors of the world.
We're doing these incredible workouts right now. I can't get into too much detail, but the same trainers that do all the superheroes. So I'll say that.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
But she's actually training. We're training together. But she's incredible shape. Yeah. So
I lift heavier than him.
I do want to mention something too, and I know it might be off topic a little bit, but your singing and your voice. I think you should say a little bit more of that about putting your first song and album together. And she's got because she's a professional opera singer, has been on some of the biggest stages.
Yeah.
And she can sing like Lady Gaga. She's classically trained, but she can do she's very dynamic. And we're excited to kind of start pushing some of her music out.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about that. And in taking that a little bit back towards Obscura, our composer wants to use my voice in the soundtrack for the film, which I'm really excited about because it will be more in a classical vein. Thus, the music that I write is very much in a pop ballad sort of direction.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about putting my first album together this year. So we've been doing that too, which has been a lot of fun. This guy's an amazing lyricist, so I just kind of put the music together and he writes the words, and we're in good shape.
You guys really are a dynamic duo, just, putting everything together, working together, collaborating, and, just, making each other, it seems like better, just, fantastic people supporting each other. So that's awesome. I love that. Let's go ahead and, play the Obscura trailer. Show people some monstrously good times.
Right, Razorman. Razorbacks are boots on the ground at checkpoint Alpha. Ready, Charlie Mike. Over.
A new warfare.
Man, what the hell are those things?
Man, are you seeing this? What is Obscura?
It's supposed to be a day at the beach, man. Shooting guns, blowing shit up. Is there something else you want to tell me?
You don't want to come check this out. Got a bunch of bikers here 5 clicks out.
Hands up! You're trespassing on federal land! Place your weapons on the ground. Put your hands up. What was that?
Is this part of our drill?
Obscura.
It's here!
Allora. Retract.
Let's take cover in that building.
This side.
Crack a 5-gun dart.
Hers. Only women lay eggs.
You're so caught up, you can't see the snake that's curled up at your feet. They're watching you right from there.
Very cool. Very cool. Nice. That looks absolutely exciting.
Yes, I can't wait for this one to come out. This is a game changer one too. This is a really nice, fun, entertaining story and film.
Yeah. It sounds like it's been a long time
One
coming.
of your favorite heroes? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to speak over you.
Oh, you're fine. No, it just seems like it was a long time coming. But Aubrey, what were you going to add?
Oh, I said I'm sure you recognize one of your favorite on-screen heroes.
Oh,
well.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit of scruff, not too much on the screen.
Yeah, and he had quite long hair at the time too. About shoulder length. Yeah. It was all back in a ponytail, one of those hero ponytail type situations.
Oh yeah, right. You gotta have the hero ponytail.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah. I love the idea of like a bunch of army guys, mercenary guys, and a bunch of bikers. It's very G.I. Joe. To begin.
That's where I got my career started. As a 4 or 5 years old, playing with Patrick Hale, my best childhood friend, who's still my best childhood friend, or best friend. And we would just play G.I. Joes. We go watch a movie and come back and play G.I. Joes. Get back on that shit.
Good. That'd be a good way to do animatics. It's like, we'll just set up the shots with the G.I. Joes.
We're like 40 or
40,
50 G.I. Joes. We would change them up. They would get the ones you get in the package, and we change them up to make them cool so they were even more original. And then each one had its own voice and own storyline, and it's so good.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think I forgot to grow up.
Yeah. That's the beauty of filmmaking. You don't have to. Never. But Jerry, of course, with your the scruffiness and the long hair, I don't know if it gets any scruffier than your character in Arctic.
Yeah, no, that takes the cake for sure. That's a movie by Tom Bocci, who was the writer director of that one, and the Arctic is a comic book obsessed serial killer, and so with a twang to his voice, and so I had long hair and a full beard, and that was pretty intense.
That was a pretty grisly movie. It was
actually. I am coming out in one of Netflix summer blockbusters coming out later this summer called Trigger Warning, and that's another military movie. I'm actually very scruffy in that one, and all my stuff is opposite of Jessica Alba, and and we trained for like 3 weeks. And what's that?
Oh, I was going to say, when does that come out?
Yeah, it should be coming out this summer. I think it's towards the end of the summer. It's one of their major titles, and her and I guess I can't say too much. Yeah, I can't really say too much. But other than I got to play opposite her, it was an incredible experience, and she is badass. She's badass.
Yeah,
she's badass. Jessica Alba's badass, and just a very professional, wonderful human being. Also, she's very, very smart businesswoman, and I have mad respect for her as well.
Oh, that is awesome. It sounds like you guys got a lot of amazing projects that are coming out. Obscura, hopefully we'll be seeing that towards the end of the year. Hopefully you'll be making some more announcements on that. And
I can give you 2 heads up real quick. I just got off a TV show with I guess how much can I say of that? Let me see.
You have to look at your NDA. We don't want to get you in trouble, Jerry.
Well,
it's got some bigger projects coming out in the next year.
Yeah, it's a TV show. It's called The Curse. Nathan Fielder is one of the creators of that, and Emma Stone. And I got to work with them and another Academy Award nominated actor. I always want to say his name. I want to say his name, but
they can look him up.
I'll say it wrong.
On The Curse.
I feel so terrible.
Yeah.
And then I'm filming opposite of Kristen Stewart in 2 weeks.
So man, that's gonna be fun.
That is gonna be awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be a great experience as well. And so,
well,
it's taking a long time.
Right.
I'm so
to have you guys back and give us an update.
We would love that. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, is that it? Is we did?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just saying thank you for having us on. I don't.
We are running down on time, so it's you guys have so much going on, and we can't wait to see more stuff going on for everybody at home. To check out more of Jerry's work. Go see American Warfighter, which is it's still on Netflix, right?
It's on Amazon now, and all the other
streaming platforms as well, but Amazon for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. And then of course, Arctic is out there as well. I think it's.
I do want to say with the mention with American Warfighter, that was a tribute to our servicemen and women, and it brings awareness to PTSD. That was, like I said, another way that we did advocate for different for PTSD and stuff like that. Yeah. I learned quite a bit during that experience, and it's a very special story. And if I were to not make it to tomorrow, and you say, "Who is Jerry?" you could go watch American Warfighter, and you see the type of heart or storytelling that I love. That's my movie. Yeah. It's kind of like, you remember that the Green Mile?
Oh yeah,
taking like real life situation, and there's a little bit of miracle or magic or mystere, kind of like a David Lynch or Guillermo del Toro, or different things like that. So that's but everything from the heart.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, guys, it's been great having you guys on. And then Aubrey, you're working on your studio album, and you're bringing some of your voice to Obscura, as well as the lead female badass in Obscura. So
we can't say that word.
Bad?
What?
You said a bad word. You said a bad word on your own show.
Oh, did I fucking say a word that was bad?
Oh, shit. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Shit.
I love it.
I have a foul mouth, so and my ears burn all the time, so I'm fine. No, but guys, it's been great being able to chat with you and learn more about all the cool projects you got coming up, coming out. And it sounds like the runway is just wide open for you guys for cooler stuff down the road. So we can't wait to have you back. And maybe we should chat about having you out next year or something for Colorado Festival of Horror.
We'd love to join you guys.
Yeah.
Angela talks about it. She loves it so much, and we love Angela. So we know we'd have a good time.
And you are awesome too. You're straightforward and fun, and you can count on you. And I mean, there's a lot of you don't change. I love it. You're
I
you.
get rounder. That's how I change.
Yeah.
That means you enjoy life.
Is
You
that
do
what
what you
it
say
is?
you do. Yeah.
I think so.
I hope so. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming on the show. For everybody out there that tuned in, thanks so much. Again, to your advocacy. Anybody that's that needs help and is in a domestic violence situation, there are contact information at the top of the comment section, or feel free to reach out to Aubrey and Gary at Rokitpig, and hopefully they can point you in the right direction. And it's such a big item issue that needs to be continually advocated and championed. So most definitely. And of course, make sure go look these two up on IMDb as well. They have a long list of projects going on. And guys, it's been a privilege. Hang out for a few minutes as we sign off. But to everybody that's out there, thanks so much for tuning in. And of course, to our list of sponsors, thanks so much for supporting my ass. To Mutiny Information Cafe, if you're going to start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated. And to our friends at Hellfire Entertainment, thanks for rebroadcasting us on your social media, Groovy TV, and of course, Alien Donut Films. To Bill and Angela, thanks so much for all your support. And to my producers, Stephen Santa Cruz and Man Armstrong, we appreciate you. And guys, to everybody out there, be good, be kind, help each other out during these tough times. Remember, we love you. Stay spooky and have a good night, everybody.